So Donald Trump's got a lot of nerve. Donald Trump went to Flint, Michigan 10 months after the Flint water crisis was discovered. In his initial comments, he said that the Flint water crisis was a shame. This is 10 months ago. But he wouldn't even comment about the responsibility that the governor and the emergency manager had in all of this. Now, he finally comes into Flint. He goes from the airport to the water treatment plant, that, by the way, is shut down. Then he turns around and goes to a church that has upheld its community responsibility by being a distribution point for bottled water and also foods that help with lead poisoning. The pastor told him right off the bat that she didn't want any type of political rhetoric being made, and that he was there to thank the church for its community responsibility. Okay, here goes Trump into his speech, and then he goes off message as usual and starts dogging out Hillary Clinton. Well, 3 sentences into this, the pastor checks him out and sees that he's got 3 pages of notes, okay, or crib sheets, whatever you want to call them, to go through, and she shut him down, which was the proper thing to do. She interrupted him and asked him politely to avoid political criticism. Well, Donald said, okay, fine, and went back to, his Flint speech, if you want to call it that, which lasted approximately 90 seconds before he was out of there. Meanwhile, there were several questions throughout from the audience that he didn't really want to answer, didn't answer, except for one where I guess it was a lady that called him out for discriminating against black people in his apartments, and he gave a quick no on that one. But afterwards, instead of just being quiet and letting everything go, because it didn't go, the optics weren't exactly what he was interested in, he turns around and goes on Fox and Friends and says something was up because he noticed she was nervous when she introduced him. She was so nervous, she was shaking, and Trump said, wow, this is sort of strange, and then she came up. So she had that in mind, there's no question about it. No, what she had in mind was holding you to what you agreed to, which was not to make a political speech about this. Trump went on to say that the interruption didn't bother him. I quote, I mean, everybody plays their games, he said. There wasn't any game. She was just holding you to what you agreed to. When people in the audience then accused him of discriminating against black tenants, Trump quickly denied the claims. The Reverend then re-emerged briefly to tell those present Trump was a guest of her church and you respect him. I guess she wasn't too nervous to shut down the audience as far as getting on your ass, but she was nervous. Trump did go on to say that he felt like the audience was fantastic. Yeah, I don't actually believe that. But that the pastor was so nervous, she was like a nervous mess. So he figured out that something was up. Now, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. You know, anytime something goes on that doesn't give Trump the optics that he's looking for, he's got to make some kind of excuse for him. Donald, you should have just kept your mouth shut and just let it pass. You got out of it what you wanted, which was your photo op. You should have just got back on your plane and went home.